dealing with the strike on the Iranian general Soleimani and what that means now, not only politically, but in a world perspective. For a look at that, let's bring in Fox News contributor Kiron Skinner. She was a senior advisor to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo until last year. She's now a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation, where she works on foreign policy and national security issues. Good afternoon. I want to get your take on where we stand after the strike and what you've seen from the fallout, already pledging in Iran for more attacks, and what it means.
There's so much to talk about, Brett, and thanks for having me at this hour. Let's start with the Europeans. They have, I think it's actually an understatement to say, skin in the game, and they're making it known. We just had a statement a day ago from the heads of government for UK, France, and Germany, declaring basically what will be the European, both NATO and EU approach. They want the US and the Iranians to be part of the nuclear deal. They want restraint by the United States and the Iranians. They want the ISIS campaign to continue, even though they've put it on pause. There are just a host of things that they've stated that I think suggest, in order for President Trump to realize his objectives in Iran and the Middle East, we're going to have to institute a maximum diplomacy campaign that includes the Europeans who have just deep ties to the region.
You say maximum diplomacy, and the Secretary of State has been talking about and tweeting out about a de-escalation. But at the same time, you have the president tweeting out and talking to reporters about retaliation if Iran strikes again on 52 some sites. I've talked to some Republicans up on Capitol Hill, a little anxious about some of the public talk by the president about what comes next. You?
And yes, Brett, you're speaking to the issue that so many Americans and others have talked about, is that the administration really needs to be better coordinated on its messaging. It's really hard to do so in real time when I think passions are high, there's a real concern of an imminent threat, and sometimes there's not the opportunity for all of the principals to coordinate their statements. But if there was ever such a time, this is it.
Right now, Senator Tim Kaine, Democratic senator from Virginia, is getting ready to introduce and put on the Senate floor a resolution for a war powers resolution that essentially would call for the AUMF, the authorization for the use of military force, to be changed. There to be a new one, so it's not as open-ended. Essentially, to put some kind of handcuffs on the president and the administration when it comes to war with Iran. Your thoughts about that effort and what it means politically?
Many of us, especially in the scholarly community, have wanted a new AUMF because we're still living under the one from 2002 that allowed us to go into the Iraq War. So I think a new one would not so much limit the president, but clarify what our objectives are, how long we will be there, what we will do. I don't think it's a bad idea to have an AUMF because it will actually help us and help the American public understand exactly what we're doing. I say this in particular regarding Iran because we have been in a 40-year twilight war with Iran. Most Americans don't know that. Until the past couple of weeks, most Americans have not heard of Kataib Hezbollah, the PMF, the umbrella organization for the militias in Iran. But this is a big part in the 21st century of what we've been combating. Everyone knows Al-Qaeda and the Sunni challenge that we fought from terrorists. But Iran is all over the globe. And an AUMF would bring Congress, the executive branch, and the American public into a common conversation on what this potential conflict will look like.
Dr. Kiron Skinner, we appreciate your time. We'll have you back.
Thank you.